just right over there. Is it okay that I perform a dance for you, but I need you to pay me $1,000? Is that all right? Is that a good deal? No? Okay. What about this madam here, miss? All right, I will bring the price down. $500 for me to dance in front. You just shook your head without me even finishing my offer. All right, never mind. Let's go all the way to the side there. Hello. I'll drop my price even further. $100 and I will perform a Michael Jackson dance for you. Is that okay? Silence. All right, I understand. That was entrepreneurship. My aspiration, my best efforts to try to offer a value to some of you in the crowd today in exchange for your hard-earned dollars. Youth. As youths, we are often categorized as people with a lot of energy, people who are resilient to pursue what we aspire to achieve. Or to the senior generation, they may even remark us as someone. The youths are people who refuse to give up. Just like what I did just now. Rejection after rejection. I was still going on trying to get that $1 from your pockets. That, to me, is youth entrepreneurship. An amazing amount of energy and amazing amounts of resilience. As you would have noticed, as I demonstrated an exchange that was supposed to happen with a few of you in the crowd, which did not happen at all, I failed. But that is part and parcel of entrepreneurship. And because of my relentlessness to keep pursuing, to keep wanting to realize that aspiration, that embodies my youthful energy to keep trying. And to me, ladies and gentlemen, that youth entrepreneurship is a form of mosaic. We wake up every day wanting to be the next multi-billionaire, wanting to be the next renowned entrepreneur, businessman, businesswoman. Yet we tend to have this perception that everything will just go well. The moment we have a product or a service, the moment we push it out to the market, everyone will buy and we will be a billionaire. But as you know, that is so far away from the case, as I've just demonstrated. Just like a mosaic. Sometimes we do not know what we are dealt with. Sometimes we do not know what piece do we get. Are our products a good fit? Do people want our services? We may not know until we try and fail and keep trying and fail and then succeed. It is like how we see a mosaic. Beautiful because it's imperfect. The beauty lies on how random and how imperfect the mosaic was created, just like entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurship is popular among youths, especially Malaysian youths. Now, can you imagine, in 2021 alone, it is expected that 45% of Malaysian youth want to be entrepreneurs, which means that brings a total 45% out of 15 million youths in Malaysia want to be their own boss, or they dream of firing their bosses one day. Statistics don't lie. There are so many people wanting to be entrepreneurs. And why not? Just like the beautiful mosaics that decorate our worldly creations, from the beautiful World UNESCO sites to the beautiful landscapes around the globe, colored by mosaics. We see these beautiful mosaics in its imperfect form, yet they never fail to leave an impression to us. We see that as a form of entrepreneurship. We see that as a form of how our resilience, our attitude of never wanting to give up, to keep pushing and pushing and pushing that product or that service to finally let us make our mark. It's beautiful, isn't it? That's why a lot of youths in Malaysia wants to be entrepreneurs. No matter how imperfect, how uneven, how unfair the journey could be. Let's have a look further. Did you know Malaysia is a very business-friendly country, where we are ranked 12 out of over 100 countries in the world for the ease of doing business. Not bad being a Malaysian, not bad being a youth pursuing that entrepreneurial dream. Yet, did you know 80% of startups here in Malaysia often fail within 5 years of their operations? We want to become entrepreneurs. We want to pursue entrepreneurship. We want to realize that dream. Yet, 20% of us are more likely to survive after 5 years compared to the 80% who perish in that unfair, imperfect, that journey, like a mosaic, like entrepreneurship. Now, why is that so? You see, just like entrepreneurship, we do not know when are we going to meet the right customer. We may be dealt with some of the worst customers, some of the worst business partners, some of the worst suppliers, perhaps during the start of our journey. If some of us are lucky enough, when we started our entrepreneurial journeys right, everything was rosy, yet midway in the 5th year, ladies and gentlemen, someone may just throw a hammer. We may be dealt with a bad customer. We may be dealt with bad economic times. We may be dealt with changing government policies that gave us disadvantages as an entrepreneur in our industry. And then what happened? Just like a mosaic, because of the imperfection, we have to remind ourselves, my fellow youths, as entrepreneurs, we either give up or we strive on. It is in mosaic paintings, it is in mosaic structures that the beauties are found on how those produce, of how those outputs, those displays of mosaic, the beauty is found in how imperfect they are, just like our journey in entrepreneurship. This is a vision that we all want to have. A mosaic from the famed office of Facebook, or better known as Meta. All of us wake up wanting to be entrepreneurs. We cannot wait to fire our bosses. We cannot wait to walk around with a name card that reads founder or co-founder. We dream of having a mosaic this beautiful, this grand, just like Facebook. However, my dear friends, this is the vision that all of us would have. This is my reality, not yours, but mine. This is an actual apartment space in USJ 19, Subang, in a 3-bedroom, 900 square feet apartment. This was my office. This was where I used to start my business. Very, very far from what we have envisioned our dream entrepreneurial venture to be. True? Very far. Not inspiring at all. There's only one colored mosaic on the wall. My dear youths, ladies and gentlemen, from my years of being an entrepreneur, I feel strongly of tying entrepreneurship, its journey, and a mosaic painting, a mosaic display, a mosaic product. Why? It is because we can only work with what we have. We can only make the best with what we have. As much as we want to start the next Facebook, we want to start the next Google, we have to start somewhere, perhaps in a not so inspiring space like this apartment building right here. But guess what? Just like a mosaic, we need to start somewhere. It is through that imperfection that we carry on that journey of entrepreneurship. We begin to discover, we begin to find more of ourselves. And that is where we become better. That is where we become an entrepreneur. a striving, a resilient, a persevering, a purpose-driven entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about mosaic. I have emphasized on how unfair, imbalanced, how mosaic tends to be scattered, a work of art. Did you know how mosaics are created? You take a pot, a nice, perfectly round, perfectly shaped pot, and you break it to pieces and you try to stick it back together. Or you use those pieces and try to create another form of art. That is mosaic. From perfection, striking it down to create imperfection, and it's through that imperfection that we can see beauty. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can I invite all of you to join me to do something, please? Can I invite all of you to raise up both of your hands like this? Let's do it right now, like this. And I want you to imagine this is a beautiful pot. A beautiful pot with a design that you have always wanted. A beautiful pot that you would be so proud to show people, all right? Just do it with me right now. Feel the pot, feel the pot. Perhaps in your mind, try to imagine what color is the pot, all right? And then at a count of 1, 2, 3, I would like to invite all of you to break the pot apart. But when you break it apart, there has to be a sound effect. Piang, piang. Can we do that, please, yeah? Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. A nice spherical or any pot of any shape of your choice. Okay, it's a nice pot. At a count of 3, let's break it, okay? There has to be a sound effect, all right? At 1, 2, ready, yeah? And 3. Piang! Congratulations! You have created a mosaic. Now you have to stick it back. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some lessons I've learned in my entrepreneurial journey that reminds me of that process that you have just done. We have this perfect dream. We want to create the next Google, the next Facebook, the next Grab. Yet, when we start executing it, it will, piang, it will break. But it is how we put those pieces back and make the best out of our situation. Hence why as entrepreneurs among youths, one thing we are blessed with is our energy. We have time ahead of us, even though not too much. When we are young, when we make mistakes, people tend to forgive us because in an Asian culture, they tend to say, it's all right, you are still young, you will learn. So because of that, ladies and gentlemen, when we want to be entrepreneurs, especially when we are young, don't beat yourself up for breaking that perfectly shaped pot. Thank yourself for making progress and not just looking for perfection. Because in our changing world today, ladies and gentlemen, perfection no longer exists. And please remember, as you are pursuing your entrepreneurial dreams and aspirations, there is no failure. There is only feedback. There is no failure whether your product succeeds. If your product did not succeed, it's a good feedback for you to revise the product, for you to improve on your service. No failure, only feedback. That is how you piece the broken pottery back together to create an amazing work of art. Amazing just like this. All these amazing, astounding monuments around the world were created using mosaics. Those marbles, they had to be broken up first in order to erect such a captivating structure. In the end, to succeed as young entrepreneurs, being prepared to pursue a life just like how mosaics are created, we need to have awareness. Awareness of what our customers want. Awareness of what are our strengths. Awareness on who can we collaborate with that would cover the weaknesses of our business, of our experience as an entrepreneur at a young age. Awareness creates that change. When we become aware of how to improve our products, who to collaborate with, we gain that momentum to change for the better. Clarity leads to power. Just like the mosaics, once the mosaics are broken up, they are scattered. Once you start piecing them back together to create a brand new art, you begin to get clarity of what is the next beautiful art that you're going to create from those pieces. Just like entrepreneurship, the moment you start as a young person, you make mistakes, you bring yourself down. Guess what? Bring yourself back up again. Because it is through those mistakes, it is through those relentless, persevering spirit of keep trying, that you will get clarity. And once you have clarity of what works for you, amplify on that. Hence, clarity gives you power. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my guiding philosophy. I started my business at a tender age of 25 years old in the industry of training, where during that time, people will tend to assess you based on how much you know, how much knowledge you have. They tend to assess you based on your physicality, based on how much gray hair you have. That would symbolize how experienced you are. People tend to judge you when they look at your age in the mid-20s and you would have just graduated from university. How much do you actually know? I had to struggle through all that. But reminding myself that the entrepreneurial dream, the entrepreneurial journey is never a perfect one. It's a mosaic with ups and downs, different colors sprinkled all over. I reminded myself that as long as I consistently get awareness of how to better my business, as long as I get clarity of what products to promote to my customers, what service that would wow them to come back to me time and time again, that was how I've built my business since 2012 all the way up to over a decade right now. Let me move on to another lesson for you. There is a scientist from Japan who did a test on water molecules. Now, did you know, ladies and gentlemen, unrelated to entrepreneurship, but more related to the human biology, do all of you know that you have 80% of your body is made out of water? Do you know that? Yeah, very good. Very learned crowd. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, this scientist in Japan started using different sound waves to study its impact on the water's molecules. From sound waves, he tweaked them to emit certain words. Now, here is the interesting fact about the human body, or in this case, the water molecules. He found out when you say kind words, when you say positive words to the water, its molecule would produce a beautiful mosaic, as you could see on the screen behind me. Yet, for some reason, a brainless thing like the water, if you say bad things, if you say evil intentions, you verbalize them, those evil intentions to the water, somehow the water's molecules would also change, forming a disturbed, disgusting mosaic, as you could see. Now, why am I showing this to you, ladies and gentlemen? As entrepreneurs, as young people, we know now the entrepreneurial journey is not perfect. There are ups and downs. It's like a mosaic. But during those times when we are down, when we are shattered to pieces, there's only one important thing we need to remember. And what is that? That important thing is we need to remind ourselves, say good things, be kind to ourselves, say positive words to ourselves. Because as our body is made out of 80% water, if we start feeding ourselves with negativity, if we start feeding ourselves with negative, punishing, grueling words, it will affect us. It will change the mosaic structure, type in the water molecules in our body. To persevere as a young entrepreneur, my suggestion is be the most positive man, be the most positive woman in the room, as evidenced through this research. Being Mr. Positive in my company, surviving multiple economic recessions, has allowed me to grow my business to 41 countries. It has allowed me to be an investor for a e-commerce clothing company. It has allowed me to become an investor for a food catering company. And it has allowed me to become an investor for an education company as well. Not bad for someone who has positive thinking, for someone who keeps reminding himself of positive words every day. Again, just like you and I, we are made out of 80% water in our body. That perseverance has also helped me to attract the attention of world leaders. Someone like President Barack Obama and our then Prime Minister, Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak, who visited my business as we were providing a leadership training. And that very person in spectacles, circled in yellow orb, that was me, standing there next to two of the world's most powerful leaders at that time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is because of that perseverance, it has allowed me to expand our business to 41 countries, having world leaders examine and get a feel of the business that we're doing, of the training that we are delivering to impact lives. But my life as an entrepreneur, when I started much younger as a youth entrepreneur, is far from perfect. Just like a mosaic, I had my ups and downs. I had to deal with different uncertainties. I had to ask myself, how do I afford to pay the rent and the salaries of my employees by end of next month? Yet, I always remind myself that when I signed up to become an entrepreneur, it was not just to get rich, far from that. When I signed up to become an entrepreneur, it was a reminder to me that I chose a lifestyle. I made a decision to live life in my own terms and to choose that destiny. I reminded myself that life is gonna be like a mosaic, but to embrace those up and downs. For those down times that did not kill me, I reminded myself, thank you, Michael, for being that strong. Thank you, Michael. Because of that, you are able to be on the stage to share your journey with all of you right now. One last demonstration that I wish to get some assistance from you. Can I invite all of you to raise up both of your hands, please? Just raise up both of your hands, all right, in the crowd. Now, you know how to snap fingers, right? Okay, just snap your finger. Okay, we're going to try this right now, okay? 1, 2, 3. Let's snap it. Let's try it one more time. Let's try one more time. Okay, very good. Now, if you notice, some of you were snapping slightly slower. Some of you were snapping slightly faster. It was not uniform. True? Well, my dear friends, let's do something right now. I would like to invite you to raise up both of your hands again. Okay. Now, at the count of 3, the moment I hit the number 3, I want all of you to keep snapping your fingers 5 times. Can we do that, please? Yeah? Let's try it, okay? Here we go. At 1, 2, 3, let's go. One more time. Louder this time, okay? Get ready. 1, 2, 3, and go. Ladies and gentlemen, we started off demonstrating that we were not united. We were not in uniformity. We were not unison in snapping our fingers. Yet, when I gave clear instructions, awareness, when I gave clarity to you, when I guided you to snap your fingers at the same time with everyone else, guess what? We managed to create not the sound of finger snapping in the hall, but the sound of rain in the hall. Think about it. It was raining for a moment in the hall through the sound waves. Ladies and gentlemen, just like any mosaic, when we first started out, we can't see the bigger picture. But once we have more clarity, once we put a system, once we are clear with how we want to add value to the lives of our customers, what business we want to build, who do we want to serve, what is our purpose, that is when things get aligned. That is when things become absolutely clear. And that is when, as a youth entrepreneur running a business, pursuing our entrepreneurial aspirations become a gift, a blessing for us, just like a mosaic. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you this picture. Now, it's a collection of pictures where you would see me in the middle hoisting up an award. Yes, I am a multiple-time award-winning entrepreneur, I mind you. Thank you. However, that is not my intention of showing you all these pictures. I would now like to challenge you to do what? To look at these pictures and notice, are they the exact same people in these pictures here? No, right? There are people who was with me from the start, but then you would notice that some people change, some people are no longer in some of the pictures with me. Why? I may be a multiple-time award-winning entrepreneur, both in Malaysia and globally. But my entrepreneurial journey, despite how people say you're so successful, is still a mosaic. I still have people joining my company. I still have people leaving my company at different years, at different seasons, at different growth of my company. But even though it's not something easy to deal with when people come and when people go, but for me personally, I persevere because I always remind myself, entrepreneurship may be an imperfect, may be an unfair, may be an imbalanced journey of life. Yet it is through those imperfections that true beauty of the resilience, the perseverance, and the purpose of entrepreneurs, especially young people, are showcased, are talked about for generations to come. I invite all of you to embrace the entrepreneur's challenge, to embrace the journey of becoming a young entrepreneur, to feel the thrill of living your life just like the ever-changing mosaic. Thank you.